Yo, what's up guys? Finally getting started with the stream. We got my boy Coach Bash here on the line, who has requested a personal lesson. Now, we were talking a little bit before the lesson started about what his goals were for this lesson. He said that he was looking to try to improve on his neutral game overall. That's his main goal. He says he kind of struggles with his adaptations, mid-match analysis of his opponent, all that good stuff. So what we're going to do for this lesson is, for the start of the lesson, I want to take a video, a replay of a match that he has had, and try to analyze the match and see exactly where things went wrong, where things could have gone better, all that good stuff. You here with us, man?
Yeah.
Alright, there you are. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Check out the 2 replays that you have sent me. Oh wow, I still have all the replays. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Okay, so here's the 2 replays. Let's watch them in order. Let me activate the screen share so that you can actually see what's going on my end. Since we are talking to each other through Skype, shout out to Discord is going to usurp that feature pretty soon. Okay, can you see that alright?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Let me just get this over here on the side, so when the time comes I can change the soundtrack. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so this is a match you did against an all. Let me ask before we go into the matches, what was the circumstances for these matches? Were these just friendlies?
Yeah. Emma's later game, just friendlies.
Okay. Alright, well, let's see how they went. Okay, so right off the bat you go in with speed. Pretty good trying to make the approach. So far so good. Okay, I see you're making a lot of safe approaches here, throwing out your attacks, trying to play a bit of a passive offense, while your opponent's trying to zone you out, and try to run away, throw things here and there, prevent you from making the approach. So far, you're playing pretty well. You haven't made too many mistakes. That was a little risky, but you didn't get punished for it.
There was supposed to be a drop-down art change, to be honest.
Okay, a couple misclicks here and there. Right here, you could have pushed your advantage a little bit harder there once you got him off stage. Try to threaten him so that he doesn't grab the ledge. Instead, you stood back and you let him get back on the stage for free. Right there, if I were you, I would have switched to Buster Art and started pressuring the ledge with nairs, or try to push him even further off stage with the second fair.
Alright.
Okay. Not the way I would have suggested to follow up. Okay, right here you are at a disadvantage. He is pressuring you pretty hard, following up exactly where he needs to. And now you're back in neutral. Okay, good cover. You see, you allowed him to grab the ledge just fine there, but you could have gone off stage to pressure him. There's nothing really that Olimar can do. That was a very risky move that you just pulled off. Thank God you didn't get punished. Good cover on the ledge. Switching to Smash Art. Now is where you're doing exactly what I was talking about. Going off stage to try to threaten it. And that's good. It didn't work out for you though. Just a little bit of mispace on the up B ended up getting you a little screwed over. Okay, I wouldn't recommend going for the full jab combo. Holy, why did that register as a back hit? What? Okay, back throw backslash. Didn't work out too much since he didn't have much in the way of shield damage. If you were in Buster there. Okay. Olimar's doing a pretty good job of keeping you out since you're playing very low to the ground. One thing that you should... Okay, I wouldn't have recommended going off stage at that particular moment. Because at that moment you have to completely give up your stage advantage in order to threaten them off stage. While in the previous moments that I mentioned, you could keep your advantage while doing so. It's very important to keep your advantage as long as possible. That said, you're not dying right now, which is good. Good job hopping over that. Trying to go for the 50, hit 50, but you weren't fast enough. Hey, okay, we take those. And there's death. One thing is very important when fighting Olimar is to keep in mind what exactly is going on in terms of which Pikmin are available to him and what his goals are at the moment. Okay, right here I see you are stuck in disadvantage. And for a moment there, you weren't picking the right options to escape from that disadvantage. You were trying to go for... you were trying to read attacks in situations where he probably wasn't going to attack. Oh my god. Okay, well that worked out pretty well. Overall, you did pretty solid stuff that match. I think there were some opportunities you had that you could have optimized a little bit better, but you did pretty well. Held your own. Let's take a look at the next match.
Alright, next match I just got completely wrecked by Donkey Kong. I have a Donkey Kong problem, I don't know.
If you have a Donkey Kong problem, you probably have a problem getting grabbed or back airs. Or both.
Exactly.
Which means you're making too many mistakes in neutral, you're not playing safe enough. Maybe. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Okay, you could have pressed that a little bit farther. He just walked up to you and did nothing. Okay, so you have the entire stage to work with. I don't recommend pressing forward and using forward airs unless your opponent is in the air, because if the opponent manages to block it, you get punished pretty hard. Okay, that was a good attempt, but bad timing. He's taking just the time to charge up his punch. He has that 10-inch punch ready. Or that 10-wine punch. Oh, okay. Next grab he gets, you die. So you have to keep this in mind and make a complete effort to not get grabbed. And then you did the thing that doesn't stop him from grabbing you. But he messed up. So you escaped. Now, you have to keep in mind that if you are at around 125% and he grabs you, he can up throw up air and kill you. If he were to grab you again and you were still in shield art, you would have been dead. But you turned it off, so you're good. Yeah, several. Nothing to say about that except some mistakes he made. Okay, so he got the re-grab because you air dodged. Didn't do anything. You're getting bodied because you're not resetting to neutral. Yes, okay. So right there, you seem to have a problem when you're at disadvantage. When you're in disadvantage, instead of trying to go back into your opponent and try to turn the tides by landing a stray hit, or like just straight up trying to counter or whatever, your main goal at disadvantage needs to be to reset to neutral. If you reset to neutral, then your approaches are suddenly not super predictable anymore, so your opponent can't cover your options that easily. If you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get a lobby started up. Okay, so Mario isn't Donkey Kong, but he has a lot of the things that Donkey Kong has. Particularly the back air and the grab. He gets a different kind of reward from it. Donkey Kong kills you, Mario gets like 80%. So let's see where we're able to divide from this. Okay, so right off the start, let's talk about the different. No, let's talk about the flow of battle, the different phases of the game. Okay, so right here, this position that we are in right now, this is neutral. We both have the same amount of options. I can move forward, I can move backwards. You can move forward, you can move backwards. You can jump, shield, attack. You can do all of your options. Now, because of that, it is impossible to get a read in neutral unless you're a very predictable player. Like, let's say I am Mario, and every single time I run up to you, I will always run up to you and grab. Next time I run up to you, I'm gonna run up to you and grab. The third time I run up to you, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run up to you and grab. So, the fourth time, if you see that I'm a very predictable player, then yes, you can like step back and make a read or spot dodge or do whatever and try to punish me. But aside from that, don't make reads in neutral. It's not worth it. I have all the options in the world. Instead of running up to you and grabbing, I could run up to you and up smash. I could run up to you and dash attack, or I could run up to you and do that and get some good combo off of that. Or I could run up to you and like back air, or I could run up to you and nair and jab block and get some stupid stuff off of that. I could run up to you and rising up air and then get a combo off of that. There's just an immense amount of options. Or I can mix up. I don't even have to run up to you like that. I could just like quickly double take and then run up to you and grab. I can mix up like that. So it's not worth making reads in neutral. What you want to do in neutral is you want to analyze your opponent's fighting style and patterns. You want to play safe until your opponent makes a mistake and then punish. And then once that happens, you switch to the advantage state for you, the disadvantage state for your opponent. Now, if I am in the air, things change a little bit. If I am in the air, I lose access to one of my most important defensive options, which is the ability to shield. So, because I can't shield, that means I only have two options pretty much in the air. I can air dodge, or I can attack in order to, and try to outspace your attack. So let's say you're Shulk, and I'm coming up to you with something like, and you don't know what I'm going to do. You have an attack that can cover both of these options extremely easily. You can just up tilt. And there's nothing I can do to evade it. That's one possibility of things you could do to just cover my options there. But the point is, when I am in the air and I'm coming down to you, I have less options than you do, which means my options are more predictable. Like over here where I had like an infinite amount of options, over here I only have like 3. Or 4. I can like double jump, I can air dodge, I can attack, or I can do nothing. And doing nothing might lead to something like a fastball grab. So based on that, now you could start making reads. Now you could be like, okay, the only place he can really land is in front of me, or he's constantly been going in front of me. So let me try to space myself so that he doesn't land on me, and then I can just hit him out of the air. Or he's coming up in the air against me, maybe I can up tilt to just anti-air him, and that's making a read. Or let me position my up smash so I'll scoop him no matter where he goes. That's making a read. Or let me just jump away in back air. That's making a read. Like, none of these are particularly committing, except for some of them, but they're things that you can do because now your opponent's options are limited and you can make a guess at what he's doing. Now, let's say I get knocked off stage. Now I'm in the same kind of position. My options are limited. I want to return to the stage because if I stay off stage too long, I die. Now I'll do that either by grabbing the ledge or by jumping back to the stage. So if you see your opponent double jump in the air and you see that they want to go for the stage, you can very much guess what they're going to do. And you can cover that area with an attack. Like, you can throw out a forward smash, you can throw out a down smash, you can grab them, you can just go for any... This is where hard reads come in good. This is how you see me go for, like, back throw, backslash near the ledge. Because the opponent wants to get back to the center stage as quickly as possible. So they go as far as they possibly can, jumping back onto the stage and having their back still exposed. And that's where I go for the backslash. Since it stays out for a very long time, beats them if they air dodge, and just kills them super hard. It's good times. Now, if they go for the ledge, then they're generally safe. But on the ledge, again, you have limited options. You have exactly 6 options. Those options are staying on the ledge, neutral get up, roll get up attack, jump, or drop off and double jump. And if they drop off too low, then their only option is to re-grab the ledge. And over there, you can make the read of, hey, they're going to re-grab the ledge. They no longer have invincibility. Let me forward smash the ledge and kill them. Now, some options can be covered by multiple things. Like, you could throw out a reverse nair and cover, like, every single option that the opponent has, depending on where you position. Or you could stand in this very spot. Let me push you. Okay, not there. Right around here. Now turn around. This is the perfect option. This is the perfect spot to cover all ledge options. Because watch this. I'm gonna roll. You can grab me on reaction to that. I'm gonna neutral get up. And I'm gonna shield defensively. You can on reaction run up and grab. I'm gonna jump off the ledge. You can up tilt or you can nair. I'm going to get up attack. You're out of range and you have all the time in the world to punish. I'm gonna stay here at the ledge. You can forward smash me from this range. I'm gonna drop off. I'm out of range to directly contest you with anything strong. And you can just block. Or you can use the entire stage to step out of the way. You can just back off slightly and then forward tilt or forward smash. Or you can block and then punish with an up B out of shield. You can do so much from that position. Now let's say I am all the way down here off the stage. Like, maybe I don't have a jump. Or maybe I'm forced to use the jump to get to this position. Here I only have one option. I can get to the ledge. And that's it. So, if you're able to stop me from grabbing the ledge with a lingering attack, or catch me with the 2-frame in any way possible, like maybe you can go off stage and fare towards the ledge to force a stage fight and potentially get a kill that way. Or maybe you can get between the ledge and me and just up B, throw out that lingering slash that just stays up there for years. So all these options that you got, pretty good. And that's what happens when you're in the advantage state. You have access to all this stuff. Now, when you're in disadvantage state, you're on the other end of the coin. So, dodging from this, let's say I knock you up into the air, and I combo you a little bit, and then you're forced to land. What do you want to do?
Try to go for the ledge.
I mean, depends on position. Like, if you're over here, you could theoretically go for the ledge if I knock you up in the air. But at the same time, you could also go for a platform, providing I'm not in good position to just cover that. You could try to jump away from me to land on the other side of the stage, so that you force me to try to re-engage. Then you can mix up your landing options, so instead of just drifting one way, you can drift one way and then pull back the other way to try to mix up, so I don't go all the way out trying to chase you up with an up smash. Because that's what I'm going to do when you're up in the air. I'm going to try to catch your landing with an up smash. But if you mix up your landing, then you throw me off. And that's how you're supposed to escape. If you don't mix up, then you die. Alternative, you could make a read in this situation if your opponent is very predictable. Like, your opponent might always go up under you and up smash. And if he does this, then you can, like, counter when you land. But at the same time, if you try to re-engage when you are at a disadvantage, then your options are limited, so it becomes predictable what you're going to do. So if you always counter, you're going to get bodied because Mario's just going to stay there. Mario's going to throw you up, wait for the vision, and then charge an up smash, and then super kill you. Alternatively, at low percent, Mario can just wait for it and then grab, and then throw you up again. However he decides to do that. Besides that, in general, you can, if Mario tries to chase you up there, or if Mario is just barely out of range, you can use your ridiculous amount of range to try to space out Mario in this regard. Like, if you get thrown up in the air, and I try to chase you down, you can, like, double jump and then throw out a back air to prevent me from getting close to you. However, depending on how you do it, I might, like, go up to you with perfect shield and then punish out of shield because I'm a rather fast character on the ground. So it's all about mix-up. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. Like right there, you could have picked another defensive option. If I tried going up to you with a forward smash, no, with an up smash though, then you would have been able to get away. But yeah, in general, on stages with platforms, if you go for a platform, it's a pretty safe bet, because you can land earlier and it's harder for me to cover it. Alternatively, you can go for the ledge. And if you go for the ledge, then you have 6 options as opposed to 3. So it makes it easier for you to get back in. If I knock you off stage, you'll generally want to go for the ledge, because then you'll have, like, 6 options as opposed to 2. And you'll have more ways of getting back in there. You generally don't want to land on stage, but sometimes you can manage it, especially if you're in jump art. You can just jump past people and then throw out a safe nair and just cover your landing. Different situations for different characters, though. But yeah, that's just the nature of the flow of battle. In neutral, you want to gain advantage. In advantage, you want to keep advantage as long as possible. You don't want to give it up. Like, let's say you're comboing me, and then you go off stage to try to edgeguard me, and then I up B and I stage spike you and you die. Or let's say you completely miss your edgeguard, I double jump and back air, now you're off stage, I have stage control, and now I'm in advantage. Oh my lord, you beautiful bastard. Thanks a lot for the donation, Savage for this damage. Much appreciated.
Boy came through for den lessons, or to be honest, just to play you.
It means a lot, man. Thanks a lot. I gotta turn on the stream label so that the ticker can actually update. Alright. So, moving forward. You hold on to advantage as long as you possibly can. In disadvantage, your goal is to reset to neutral, more so than anything else. You don't want to so much get stage control. No, you're not entirely looking for stage control at this moment, because your opponent has all the stage control in the world. And if you try to wrest it from him by force, then you're going to get bodied. Because he has a lot more options than you. He can cover your options with multiple options. Mario, for example, can use up smash and beat out like 3 of your options. And you only have like 3 options, so you don't want to just fall into this. But yeah, that's a basic design of the flow of battle. Now, beyond that is, in neutral, trying to analyze what your opponent's playstyle is. Try to get as much reward as possible from that. Let's say... Let's go into the things that I usually do for most lessons, where I play different playstyles, and then you try to find ways to get around as best as possible. These are basically assuming that you're in neutral, and you want to try to weave around them in the best way possible, so that you get as little damage as possible while maintaining the lead. We're gonna treat this as if it's a 2-stock match. I'm going to play a certain playstyle. I want you to find a way around it. Okay, right now you're noticing you're taking a lot of damage for no reason. Your goal is not only to make the approach, but do so in a way that it will let you take as little damage as possible. That's good. That's perfect. Do that more. Good stuff. Good cover. Okay, so a key aspect of this playstyle is that I'm not making any commitments. I'm not pushing you off stage, I'm just running away, making sure that you try to approach me, make a mistake, and then I punish you. What this is called a passive defense. I'm forcing you to make constant approaches. This is how someone might play when they have a large lead. Like Sonic players, Shulk can do this using the Ghost Walker playstyle. Mario can do this by running away throwing fireballs. Olimar does this for the majority of the match. Duck Hunt players, you know, all that stuff. Nice, Malk. Good stuff. Okay, so essentially with this playstyle, you managed to win, but just barely. You took a lot of percent. That was a little unnecessary in taking. Okay, so against this playstyle, this passive defense, what you want to do is you want to approach in a way that's as non-committal as possible. You want to find holes in the defense, and you want to poke them. You want to poke them through. When you're far away, you want to play an active defense. The way you beat passive defense is with active playstyles. But you want to play active defense, play reactionary, try to poke through, use abilities such as like short hop air dodge, or full hop air dodge, just trying to break through. Maybe mouth to try to poke holes in the defense. Running shield, things like that, to try to just force your way in through the wall of projectiles. And then once you get close enough, you switch into active offense and just try to get the hit. Once you're able to get your confirm, you want to keep that confirm as long as possible. As long as you can maintain advantage on your opponent will not be able to continue playing in passive defense. So once you get that confirm, you gotta hold on to it as long as possible. And I believe that's one place where you're very much lacking, is your active offense is pretty weak. You're able to bat people away, but you're not able to convert off of them. Nair is a very effective tool for this. So you can do things at low percent like Nair to jab, Nair to grab, Nair to forward tilt, forward smash, Nair to forward air, Nair to forward air, forward air, Nair to down air, Nair to back air, all that stuff, Nair to air slash. Buster is very good because it keeps people close to you. Even if the combos aren't fully guaranteed, you're able to get a lot of reward from them for doing so. So yeah, generally just try to force your way in, be as safe as possible, and just try not to take too much damage in doing so. Let's try this one more time. Make your focus on taking as little damage as possible, and on keeping me from being able to push in. Once you get me off stage, consider switching to Buster Art in order to pressure me. Use speed and jump to approach, but then Buster to maintain advantage. I don't think Shield Art is very useful against this playstyle because you're very slow and it gives the opponent the ability to run away. Much easier. You see, right now I'm being forced to bat you away. I'm being forced to change playstyle. Active defense beats both passive offense and passive defense though. And yeah, I acknowledge the fact that it's a little harder on Wi-Fi than it would be otherwise. Right there, that was a big hole in my defense that failed to explode when I made that mistake in recovering. You have to be non-committal in your approach. Don't do anything unsafe when trying to approach, or else this will happen. Good stuff. Ooh, almost got me there. Very nice. Managed to open that hole in defense. However, you lost the stock and you have 140%. So that's a couple of... Since you were only able to take one stock, I'm seeing that there's definitely an issue with the way that you are approaching this. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to move on for now, but this is definitely something that you need to work on, is your ability to approach safely. Your ability to break through walls and force them open and keep them open. Because you were able to hit me sometimes. When you were able to hit me, you didn't get much for it. So I'd say work on your combos, work on your follow-ups, work on your advantage state.
Alright.
Okay, so, let's see, moving forward, let me switch up the playstyles a little bit. This one you're probably going to have a little bit more experience dealing with. Very nice.
Good read. Oh god.
Good stuff. Okay, so well, before I go into the explanation on this playstyle, I do want to bring up something that Pitzer in the chat said. He says that you should be using more up tilt, which is very good advice when I'm trying to approach it from above. Like I said earlier, it's an amazing idea. Anyways, this playstyle, as you might have guessed, is active offense. What I'm doing is I'm constantly holding forward, going straight into you, and trying to get as much damage on you as possible. Just going straight hits, trying to overwhelm your defense and break through. Now, the thing about this playstyle is that it's high risk, high reward. I'm going straight into you, pressing buttons and trying to overwhelm you so that you can't use any abilities to get me off of you. Now, that works out pretty well when I'm in the advantage state because the risk is heavily diminished. But in neutral, If someone is going straight into you and pressing buttons, you can very easily just step back and just let them come to you, reposition yourself so that they're not actually coming onto you, and then hit them away. This is what's called, someone who's doing this, who's constantly going straight into you, this is what's called pulling forward. Now you might have noticed that when you got me out of the advantage state by hitting me, I would always jump straight into you to try to re-engage. This is something that you can very easily snuff by using an up tilt or by using a delayed nair to get that overswing. It's also something that you can easily snuff by holding shield for the most part. Even though Mario does have some attacks that are safe on shield, like down air, you can at least do something like up B at shield to punish that. In general though, what you want to do when someone is holding forward is you want to use the stage that you have to your advantage. If you're standing right there and you see that I am going straight towards you like this, what you want to do, since this is the maximum distance that I can travel, is you want to take a few paces back so that when I try to jump to you, I'll end up over here in range of your attack. And then you can like just forward smash or forward tilt or down tilt or pivot grab, whatever you want to do. Depends on the situation. Or you could also just stand your ground and crouch and then up tilt. And then you'll be able to anti-air me. Maybe you don't want to crouch to make it obvious, but crouching does lower your profile so that it's harder for your opponent to actually hit you. Otherwise, you could step back and forward air, or you could step back and down air, no, and back air, and just hit me away. Anyways, I'm going to let's run through this one more time, and keep in mind what I just finished telling you. Good stuff. Good way to reset the neutral. Very nice. You're doing a lot better now. Okay, well, pretty good work, man. You still need a little bit of work there, but you know what you need to do. You were able to adjust a lot better after I gave you the suggestions of what exactly had to be done. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one, since we don't have too much time left. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, that worked out. I would not recommend doing that ever, but it worked out for you this time.
No DI. Wow.
Rest in peace. Good stuff. Alright, so let me ask you. What did you... Before I say anything, judging from the two playstyles that I've showed you, which are passive defense and active offense, what do you think that playstyle was?
Backhand retreat? Just like baiting out my shield, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. What I call that playstyle is passive offense. I am not pressing forward, I am staying in my range, and before, I am shooting out attacks just outside of my range, so that if you hold forward and try to come into me and try to initiate with an attack, you will get hit by my ranged attacks, my quick boxing options, like back air, dash attack, up smash, things like that. It's a little difficult to force this playstyle since I have to be a little active in order to get in range in terms of demonstration, but I hope I demonstrated it well enough. Oftentimes it'll be like Diddy Kong players holding banana or without banana, just trying to stay within their range. You try to approach and then they just back it, they forward air repeatedly and just push you out. That's a good example of this playstyle. Or Marth players who are constantly throwing out their swords and trying to space back with this. Now, the way you usually beat this playstyle is you either want to use a better passive offense, like longer range, which, hey, guess what? Hulk has the longest range in the game. You can just sword against sword and you win, but you were doing this quite a lot. Or, if you're unable to do this, but you're a relatively fast character, what you can do is you can run on the ground and use an active defense to try to break through. Like, put forth your shield, block their hits on landing, and then grab them. Because when you hit them, and you're sliding forward. Now, when you run and then you slide forward, and you shield, you slide forward, which will break into their space, which will allow you to kind of break through their walls. So if I'm spacing back airs backwards, and you shield this, you'll be in range to punish me. Now, we're gonna skip the demo for this part, since hopefully you were doing pretty well to begin with against this playstyle, but it's just a little bit of understanding of what to do there, and we're running out of time. So let's go ahead and go into the fourth playstyle. This is the remaining one. I showed you passive defense, active offense, passive offense. Now this is active defense.
Come on. I've got a rolling habit.
This playstyle makes you very aware of your habits. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to scare you into doing a habit. Notice that I am not committing to anything. However, it's very difficult for me to make use of this habit on Wi-Fi because there's, this playstyle on Wi-Fi because there's a lot of delay. This is a very reactive playstyle. Essentially, what I do is I run up to you, I use an attack, and then I don't use an attack. I run up to you and shield or air dodge or just stand still, and I wait for you to be scared of my input, and then I exploit you when you use your input for the punish. Like right there, you were scared of my follow-up, so you air dodged.
True.
This is a very reactive playstyle. So what you want to do in order to beat this playstyle is you either want to bait the reaction and punish it. Like for example, if I run up to you and shield, and you jump, and then before you land, you double jump, I might expect that you're going to land and I'll grab. But then you double jump, and then you just land in nair while I'm in lag from the grab. Alternatively, I might air dodge so that you throw out an attack when I get in range. And then I punish you with a landing attack. But if you just block, then you're good, if you anticipate that coming. Now, the other thing is, if you use something that I am unable to react to, like for example, you see me running across the stage, and then you dash attack to intercept me before I can shield. There we go.
Yeah.
You gotta do it a little earlier than that. Here, go to the other side of the stage. I'm not going to shield until I get in grab range. If you start running to me early, then I'll see it coming. Here, try an instant dash attack. What you do is you run forward and you press down on the C stick at the same time. Like, there you go. You did it there. Try that. Don't start moving until I get near you. Alternatively, you could just grab. Like when you see me running up to you like this, you think I'm gonna shield, you could just grab me straight out. But it's just different characters with different options. You can theoretically hit me before I'm able to get in range of you. You can, no, this is your dash attack because it has a lot of mobility, like you push yourself forward, but you have to time it right. You can grab me because I'm gonna pull out the shield. You can throw out an attack before I get in range. You can grab me before I get in range, that sort of thing. Essentially unreactables. If I cannot react to what you're doing, then you win, because I'm playing a very reactive playstyle. So I'm not committing until I do something. So let's say I run up to you and you're scared I'm gonna dash attack, so you shield. If you shield, then then since I'm in the position to react more than you are, I will grab you first, because I'm looking to see what you do. The instant I see you shield, I'm like, got him, then I grab. Meanwhile, you pull out your shield and then react to what I do afterwards, but I already shielded. So now you're a little slower on the uptake, and I'll be able to grab you before you can grab me. So even though shields tie, the aggressor usually wins in that situation. If you try to attack, then I win because I blocked. If you grab me straight out, you win. If you space out, like if you just back off, then you're usually fine. But it depends on how far you back off and when I shield. If I expect you to back off, then it won't shield until you're at the location you're going to be. And oftentimes I can drop shield and then just charge out of that. Like I might run up to you, shield, and then dash attack, and then win. Or I might throw out like an anti-air, like turn around back air, do stuff like that. Essentially, since you already reacted, I am punishing your reaction. You might not always win the whole time there, but, you know. Anyways, that's about all the time that we have. Is there anything you want to ask before we finish the session? Any last things you want to try to work on?
Just a question, I guess. So like, how long does it take for you to figure out someone's YouTube game playstyle?
Well, there's something to that. Is that not every person is going to have the same playstyle, the same adaptability. Some people are going to be easier to read than others. Some people are going to be more static than others. So, like, a player, when you first start off the game, you want to play passively, usually, because you want to dodge what the other person does in each situation. Aside from that, you might know the character and try to guess what they're going to do based on the character they play. So for example, Marth will get a lot of reward by playing a passive offense, so you can generally guess that's going to be his playstyle. But at the same time, not every character plays according to their playstyle. The Marth might hold forward constantly and just try to get like advancing nairs into like side Bs and try to get a lot of damage off of that. Mario players are good at every single playstyle, but generally get the most reward from from offense and active defense. So if he's running up to you, it's very likely that he's either going to be using active offense and go for the grab, or he might go active defense and get the shield, because either way, he gets a lot of reward. There's a bit of a weighted rock, paper, scissors element that we didn't get to talk about this time, sadly. I think we talked about it a little bit from the last lesson, and that goes a lot into being able to anticipate what the opponent does. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough time to cover it right now. Maybe next time, or if you watch the other lessons that I've given, I talk a bit about that over there, and that would be a good way to try to anticipate what the opponent wants to do in neutral. But essentially, what you want to do is you want to observe your opponent playing a little bit, see what they want to go for, and then try to adapt on that. Like, let's say you see the opponent not approaching and staying away from you and constantly trying to box you out. Then you say, oh, that's passive offense. So against passive offense, I either play a better passive offense or I go active defense. And then you use one of those play styles and then you beat him. And then if he doesn't adjust, then you win the match by just using active defense or passive offense. And then anytime you get advantage, you switch to active offense, and then you switch back when you're back in neutral.
Sounds good.
And if he adjusts, then you have to take a moment to say, okay, it's not working anymore. What is he doing now? Okay, now, since I've been using passive offense, he switched to active defense to beat me out. So what I have to do is I have to use unreactable attacks by pushing straight forward, or I have to bait his reactions. When you start doing that, you start playing either active offense or passive defense. And then you beat him out. And then if he doesn't adjust, then you win. If he does adjust, then you readjust again. And the game is just a pattern of going through that. When you're in advantage, usually you'll want to be active offense, but you don't want to give up your advantage completely. There's a tendency for players who are in active offense to just completely surrender their advantage. Just go straight balls in and try to get as many shots as they can, but then they end up going off stage, throwing away their advantage. They end up going too high, not covering their landings, not keeping stage control, and they lose it. They lose some damage that they could have gotten if they had just stayed on the ground. Like, for one good example I can give off that, if let's say Mario gets you in a combo, and then he goes, say, up tilt, up air, damn, I messed up. Okay, here it'll be a lot easier. Let's say he goes, up air, damn it. Up air, up B. Now that up B didn't give him too much damage, so he didn't get too much reward off of that. But now, and it reset the neutral. Now, what if the Mario player, instead of going for up air, up B, goes for up air, and then fastballs? Now the Mario player gets on the ground faster. His opponent is in the air and is forced to land, and Mario is able to cover his landings. So even though he got less damage and missed a true combo follow-up, he keeps his advantage and doesn't reset to neutral. So now he can continue potentially getting a lot more damage, or at least forcing his opponent to go in a bad position, which could lead to more damage or could lead to winning the game. That's the kind of mindset you want to have. Instead of always going for the guaranteed stuff, try to focus on keeping advantage as long as possible. Like, you knock your opponent off stage. You could run off and fair, but what if your opponent doesn't go low? What if your opponent air dodges? Do you miss your opportunity? Do you end up potentially getting edge guarded? Do you get put in a bad position where you're now in a disadvantage? Your opponent gets free damage on you trying to get back on the stage? Sometimes it's not worth going for that fair. And that's the kind of thoughts that you need to have through the game. Risk versus reward. Sometimes you'll go off stage and you'll get the fair, but it's not going to kill. And it's good. Or let's say your opponent is at 60% and you're at 110%. and you get on the ledge, and your opponent, you expect neutral get up, so you up smash at the ledge because the show can do that. Now, if you succeed with the neutral get up or the roll, you give your opponent a lot of damage, but you don't kill them. If you miss, if your opponent jumps off the ledge or you mistime it, then your opponent punishes you and you lose the game. That's risk versus reward. If you aren't going to win if you succeed, but you're going to lose if you don't, it's probably not a good idea to go for it. Instead, go for a safer coverage option like Nair, where if you mess up, you're not going to get punished as hard. You're not going to die. But yeah, hopefully that answer was satisfactory. But yeah, thanks a lot for the constant support and the donations, man. It's always much appreciated. Always a pleasure seeing you around. It was a pleasure talking to you. All that good stuff. You the best. I'll get that ice cream just for you, man.
Hey, sounds fucking good.
Alrighty, man. Take care of yourself.
Hey.